Hello, welcome back to my channel Lomzy Sews. In today's sewing tutorial, I'll be sharing with you guys how to make a transparent corset with yoke and deep V neckline. This tutorial was inspired by this trending dress that VeekeeJames made. I saw it on Instagram and I decided to share it with you guys. If that's what you've been searching for, continue watching till the end to see how I made this. Before I continue, I would like to use this opportunity to thank all my returning subscribers for always coming back. I appreciate a whole lot. I'll let you guys know that this is not a beginner kind of sewing tutorial. You have to have an advanced knowledge of how to make pattern drafting for you to do this. This is going to be a long one, so guys, grab a glass of wine or whatever, a glass of water, and let's do this. To make this corset dress, I'll be using this shoulder dart, but I will show you how to use it if you don't have a shoulder dart. First of all, I have to show you how I got this radius. You have to get your radius whenever you're working with strapless dresses and tops. So first thing I did was to measure from the bust point down to wherever my under bust is, wherever it is, whatever that number is, I use it and made a radius. I put my compass here and I used what I got from here to here to make a radius. That's how I made this radius. You will always need it because it will guide you on where to contour and where to draw the shape of the corset. So if you're using a no shoulder dart, I have a no shoulder dart bodice block on my channel. I don't know about other people's no shoulder dart, but if you're using my no shoulder dart, the no shoulder dart I have on my channel has an ease on the armhole, so you can take that out to create a shoulder dart for yourself. You can use 1 inch or you can use half inch depending on the bust of the client you're working for. Let's say you use 1 inch, so you're going to make a princess dart like this. And you're going to take away, you make a dart of 1 inch, so you come like this, and you're going to close this shoulder dart. Before closing it, you just make a line from the midpoint of the shoulder. You make a point here and transfer this dart to this dart. If you don't know how to transfer that, I have a video on how to transfer it, but I'm just going to do this. So you just cut this open like this. And you're going to close this one. Can you see? By the time you close this, you should have your shoulder dart. So with this, you can see we all now have a shoulder dart. I have to warn you guys, I don't know about other people's no shoulder dart, but my no shoulder dart, when you do it, I have an easing on the armhole. If you do it, you will have the same result as my shoulder dart. So the next thing you will do is to close this shoulder dart. You know, if you've been watching my video, you know that's what I like to do. So you're going to cut this place open and you're going to close this. Let me show you what I mean. You're just going to cut this place open. So I'll just go ahead and close this like this, and I should have, if I close it like this, then I can start working from there. So let me do that and I come back to you guys. This is it after closing the shoulder dart. I like to do this so that I would have a very clear view on how to shape the V neckline. So this is a full scale. That's why you're seeing it big. This is a half scale. If you can see, this is the one I was using to show you example, but this is the full scale. So we are going to be starting now. First thing you have to do is to get the midpoint of your shoulder dart, because we are going to be contouring the shoulder the more, because this is a strapless dress. So what I have here is 4 inches. The midpoint is 2 inches. I'm going to connect this line to the bust line. Remember to always give at least 1 inch from this and this place. It has to be 1 inch. So let me mark it so we don't get it twisted. 1 inch. So this is where you are going to drop your dart when you're doing it. So you have to come. We need this 1 inch for you to have a very nice curve there. Next, on this radius, the bust radius, I'm going to come this way 1/2 inch, and I also come this way 1/2 inch. You need to tighten the bust more because the strapless dress is supposed to be a strapless dress, you know, without the mesh. So I'm going to connect this line like this. And you're going to connect this in a curved manner. Next, you're going to come to the underbust and you're going to get 0.5 also. Also, to this side, you come in 0.5. On the waistline, you're going to come in 0.5. Same thing on the other side, 0.5. And you're going to connect these lines. On the hip line, I like to come out a bit, just, you know, come down here, you drop it down like this. Remember, that is supposed to drop somewhere here, but I'm going to take it down all to the hip line. So I'm doing the same thing on the other side. Take it straight down to the hip line. So I'm going to cut this open so that we'll close this shoulder darts. Now notice that after closing the shoulder, the bust dart, this overlapped. So leave it like that until we are done working on the V-neck line. Then we would open it up and work on the lower part. But remember, where we have as our lines are these pencil lines. This is the line that we are using. So bear that in mind. Next thing we are going to do is to make the V neckline, and we're going to be using the waist as the deepest part of the V neckline, and I like to use my curve ruler to get a very seamless curve on the neckline. So I'm going to place my curve ruler here like this. Next thing you have to determine is the length of the neckline. The length of the neckline, remember, this is the circumference of the bust, so this should be the nape of the bust, right? If you want, you can come down lower like this, depending on how you want the cleavage to show, but I want to maintain this place so that at least we can have some sanity. So I'm going to maintain this place using this as my guide. I'll put my curve ruler like this, and I'm going to make a curve. That's why I said this radius is very, very important. As long as you take your right measurement, this should help to guide you. So I'm going to make a curve like this. It depends again on the waistline. You can decide to come in if you want the v-neck to have a big wide mesh in front, but the one we have on the thumbnail came close like this, so that's why I'm going to maintain this. So I'm going to do this, come this way. Now you decide if you want to come down, come low 1 inch, or you want to maintain the same, but I just want to come low 1/2 inch from the armhole, and I'm going to connect the curve like that. This should give you a very nice seamless curve. So now this would be the yoke. We are going to cut this yoke out and we continue with the corset. But very, very important, we are going to be marking the balance points, else you're going to get it wrong with your mesh when you're working on it. So I'm going to mark here as a balance point, and I'm also going to mark here as a balance point. You can make more than 2 balance points because it's very, very necessary you know align your align the notches. I'm going to also, let me just make it a 3rd notch so that I don't have very long notches to work. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the yoke, and we continue with the corset. This is it after opening up. I have already traced out the yoke for this, so we're going to continue with the corset making. So what I'm going to do, remember, this is the right line we are using, and this one is the right line we're using. So I'm going to make a curve here like this using the deepest part of my curve ruler. I'm going to make a line like this. Remember, this is the dart leg, so I'm just going to continue like this. So have you seen how we eliminated that sharp corner? Also on this line, you're going to place your curve ruler like this. using the deepest part also, you're going to connect these lines like this. So this is what we have. Remember, these places are going out, all these places. They are all going off. So when you join this together, it should give you your yoke, and this part would be the part for the corset lines. So the next thing we need to do is to draw the shape of the cup. So I'm just going to align this. I will align this to this so that I would have an easy. I'm just going to align this to this so that we will make a very nice and even curve. So this is it after aligning the underbust and the waistline. If you guys have noticed, all the principles we have been following is keep aligning to get a very nice curve, seamless curves. So the next thing we will have to get is the curve of the cup. So you are either going to use your curve ruler, or you can use your under brow wire, whichever one works perfectly. So I'm going to make a curve here using this as a guide. You decide the shape of the cup you want. So I'm just going to use this like this. I'm going to place this here. I'm using the deepest part of my curve ruler. Remember that. Hey, oh my word, was I talking to myself? Hey, so guys, I don't know where my camera cut off from, but what I did was I used my curve ruler to place it under here. I don't know where this stopped. I'm sure it shouldn't be. So what I did was either you use your curve ruler to place it here like this, and you trace off, or you're going to use your under brow wire to have a very seamless curve here. Guys, can you notice that all we have been doing is we keep aligning and we get what we want. And guys, I have made a video on how to make a very simple corset tutorial for beginners. I know this is tedious. That is why I started with that type of corset, so that it will be easy for anybody to make. So, but guys, I know some of you will catch up with this. So this is what we're going to be using. So this is the line we are using. This line. This is the line we are using. Remember, we're not using this line. We're not using this line. This is just a guide. So I'm going to trace off all of this, and we'll continue with the back. So guys, this is it after tracing everything out, and this is the yoke for it. These are the cups. Remember to always mark your balance point. This is very, very important if you want to get this. Now guys, we're going to go over to the back. So guys, for the back, I don't usually do anything serious. All I do is just one or two things and I'm good to go. All I would do is to come down here like this and make the shape of the back. Just make the shape of the back like that. So this is the only side I'm going to use, from this center of the dart all the way to the hip line. This will be the only panel I'm going to use. If my client wants her waist more snatched, then I would add another dart here, but most times I like to use from this place just one panel. I will cut out on this place from this line. So this would be the back panel, and this will be for the yoke. Guys, I have a full tutorial on how to make a corset dress with inbuilt corset. So I will drop the link on that video, how I make inbuilt corsets, so you know how to make the lower part of this. And this will be it for today's sewing tutorial. If this is your first time coming across my channel, remember to subscribe and turn on your notification bell icon. I know this is late already, but guys, if you have watched it this time, remember to subscribe and let me know if you want me to make a sewing tutorial of this video. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.